Didn't see the battle, so it's new to you. Yep. Alright. Hello, everybody. This is DKG's Avos. And because I saw the way that the team was laid out, I didn't see a dedicated opener in the team. So that's why I'm leading out with, well, Nidoking. I was really worried about Gliscor, because if Gliscor comes out against Klefki, then I have to switch Klefki out and then I lose a turn. So, thinking that that was the biggest threat to the team was having Gliscor out, I went with Nidoking. Because what is my normal lead out? My normal lead out is going to be, hey, by the way, I'm going to lead out with Klefki, set up on your opener, and then just harass the hell out of you for the rest of the game with Klefki. But because Klefki doesn't have any entry hazard type stuff, we don't have to worry about having to lead out with him every time. Alright, so now, with Gliscor using Protect, it gives him that Toxic Orb, and he gets the chance to scout out, hey, what is he going for? Is he going for Ice Beam? So, in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, so that means that now he knows that he can't switch in his T-Tar, and he can't switch in his Garchomp. With that, he also probably can't keep Gliscor in, so he has to switch in something else. I can't go for Sludge Bomb, and I can't really go for T-Bolt, because I know that the ground flying is going to resist that if he stays in. So, I gotta play a little bit risky here. Predict that Gliscor is going to get out of here, but he's not, which is disappointing. So we're going for Fire Blast. We're not going to get the Life Orb damage on it anymore, but I was predicting that based on the moves that we had, Gliscor was going to be threatened out by Ice Beam enough that he was going to switch out. He didn't, so now he's probably going to switch out just based on the fact that, well, it is what it is, but based on how much damage we did with Fire Blast, even with everything else. Alright, so the double Protect. So now we've seen Knockoff. He's probably got Earthquake. He is faster than us. But as far as this is concerned, usually Gliscor are going to be physical walls. So we're just going to go for the Ice Beam, try and get rid of him. I mean, again, there's that little bit of mind gaming going on. If I had gone for Ice Beam, not over-predicting, Gliscor would have been out of there turn 2 after the knockoff. But I'm not going to go for Flamethrower predicting anything else. So we are ground type, so I think we should be able to deal with Sandstream, no problem. Ice Beam should do a decent amount. It's not the same Life Orb, everything, but you know what? It is what it is. With that little damage, with that little damage, that might be Assault Vest. Or Max Special Defense. Either way, it's not where we want to be with Nidoking. Especially not with Earthquake on the way. Earthquake is always a potential. This is a rough position. T-Tar, why do you put me in this place? Alright, so we're going into Mega Venusaur, or Venusaur rather, at this point. And we're just gonna try and play. It looks like Stealth Rock. It wasn't something that I was expecting, but it does mean that we get a basically free switch on this one. It also does mean that Typhlosion is going to take a quarter of his HP every time he switches in, so we have to use him sparingly. That in mind, he is a ground-type Pokemon, so we should be able to scare him out with just being in, and it looks like Scizor is going to come in and resist this pretty well. So now the problem is that with Scizor, Scizor's pretty bulky naturally, and I don't want to let him get the Sword Stance up, but I obviously can't stay in on Scizor knowing what's going on. Like, if he gets a couple Sword Stances up, we're screwed. We can't let that happen. We have to scare him out of here, and we have to do it with something that's not going to take a ton of damage to Stealth Rock. So, oh, it looks like Fury Cutter. So Fury Cutter is going to increase its damage every turn that it's used. But knowing that we've got Fire Blast available, I don't imagine this thing's going to stay in. We go for a neutral damaging T-Bolt, but seeing that we played a little tricky early on and it failed, I'm just going to use a straightforward Fire Blast, make him regret keeping Scissor in here. I don't want to predict the switch too much just because we failed on our predictions earlier. Now we're forcing him to play a little bit ahead of us and stop predicting that kind of thing. Alright, so now we got Greninja. Greninja's got Ice Beam available as well as Grass Knot. Also a special attacker. So we have to play accordingly. So now, unfortunately, Walrein is going to lose a decent chunk of HP because of Stealth Rock. But we should be able to resist this pretty well. Yes. Awesome. Walrein is burned. It's disappointing. That sucks. That's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted at all. Walrein, you were supposed to be the chosen one. Alright, Walrein's kind of losing a little bit of viability here. And this is a bad choice by me. Dark Pulse would probably be the most predictable move, other than maybe Grass Knot. I went for Crunch, and that's a disappointing choice, just because he did switch in to the Dark. I imagine that Scald wasn't going to be a thing. Ice Beam's not going to be a thing, so what are the remaining options? And he can go for Grass Knot, take super effective damage to Ice Fang, or take neutral damage to Ice Fang when he goes Dark. That was just me not thinking. And so now he's basically thinking that he's going to be able to either, well, predict the fact that now I'm switching to Ice Fang. Walrein just not being used effectively there. That's my fault. I should have gone for Ice Fang, because knowing that Ice Beam and Scald weren't going to be the most used items on Greninja, that's just a dumb choice. Dumb decision. Alright, so now we've got Klefki coming out. Klefki's going to take a little bit of damage to Stealth Rocks. And I could go for the T-Wave and try and get Greninja to do some sort of paralysis. I mean, but I'm going for the Confusion because he's a special attacker, and I know there are so many ground types that are going to be able to resist that T-Wave. I don't want to deal with that. I also know that there's not a whole lot that Greninja's really gonna... Ooh, Scald did some pretty good damage. I was not expecting that much damage out of it. We can bank on the Confuse and Para. We're going to play a little risky here. And we're going to get burned for it. Gliscor is going to come in and resist the T-Wave. Sucks. He did break the air balloon, so we know that Earthquake's a thing that's going to come out of Gliscor. We can't deal with that. Oh, no. So now we got to go into Crawdaunt. I feel like this is just me not realizing what's going on my team. I'm playing terribly right now. I'm sorry, guys. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm getting Mind Game hardcore, and so I'm getting predicted. So it means that I'm playing fairly predictably. I'm not doing well in that regard. So my opponent is absolutely outplaying me. 100%. Just being outplayed. Gliscor is a physical wall, so we're going to try and do something to it, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do too much. We're going to lose our Assault Vest, but that doesn't do too much against Gliscor. So Gliscor we don't have to worry about. With Roost and everything else, I just don't see this working out with Crawdaunt either. But I don't want to... Typhlosion doesn't have anything going for him, and I don't want to switch Nidoking in on an Earthquake. That's not a good choice. So I can't switch in... Well, maybe I can. I don't want to, though. There's not a whole lot that... Now we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll do it. We're going to switch in Mega Venusaur. Switching in Mega Venusaur. I feel like Earthquake's coming on our way, but we did get a Toxic on there, so we're alright. Good switch. I'm happy with that. I was expecting Earthquake, but we did alright. So now we're just going to do neutral damage to no matter what. So I'm going for Sludge Bomb. And it looks like we get a switch on it, so we're pretty happy with that. I'm okay with that. We might get a poison on it. Doesn't look like it, though. No poison. We saw how well that he resisted the last time. And we are Mega, so Fire Fang isn't going to do as much damage as it should. The only problem is Flinch and Burn. Flinch and Burn would be the biggest threats from Fire Fang. We're going to be able to do alright with Energy Ball. It has a chance to lower special defense by 1 stage. Fire Fang, because we've got Thick Fat on Mega Venusaur, it does normal damage. And because it's off stab, Earthquake's the better move. Even something like Dragon Claw would be a better choice. Alright, so now at this point, as low on HP as we are, I have to go for Synthesis just to try and keep him alive. Now Giga Drain, again, is showing how much utility it would have. If I had Giga Drain, I wouldn't have to have Synthesis to rely on. We would be able to just kind of go with it. So now I'm going for Synthesis to try and regain some HP. I'm going to have to go for it twice. I don't like spamming something like Synthesis, but we have to do it just because we took that next Fire Fang and got the Flinch. So I think he's hoping for the Burn and the Flinch. But he didn't get the Burn or Flinch that time. We're back up to almost full HP. Yes, it does suck that I'm spamming Synthesis, but it is what it is. I don't know what I'm going to run into next. So I have to go for the Energy Ball to try and deal with it. I don't feel as bad spamming Synthesis, just because we've run into... Oh, we got burned, though. We've been running into Fire Fang after Fire Fang after Fire Fang. So, I don't feel as bad, but I do feel a little bit bad using Synthesis twice in a row. A little bad. Mega Venusaur, really good Pokemon, especially with that Thick Fat ability. Super good. Alright, Lucario has access to Bone Rush, should have access to EQ as well, but we don't have anything that deals with it better than, well, yeah. Nidoking could come in here, but if it's Bone Rush or EQ, we're kind of screwed. We can't switch in Klefki because of Close Combat or Aura Sphere. Same goes with Crawdaunt, Close Combat, Aura Sphere. Typhlosion's going to lose a quarter of his health and then run into an EQ. So, unfortunately, Mega Venusaur takes it. So what we're going to go for here is knowing that he's going to be doing some sort of damage to us. We have to prepare for that, take a Synthesis, see how much damage we're really going to take, and then go for it. I don't imagine he's going to do more than half HP, but it looks like with Swords Dance he's going to be setting up for something. So it looks like after Mega Venusaur, we're going to have to go into Klefki, get some Parahacks, and try and do something. Yeah, our Mega Venusaur is burned, but thankfully that doesn't affect our ability to hit him. And it looks like he's going for a second Swords Dance, which can be pretty risky, especially if we get some swagger on there. But we're going to have to go for Parahacks first. Parahacks are first. Alright. The reason I'm saying Parahacks over Confuse is that if he breaks through Confuse, then Klefki is dead and he can switch out into something else. He loses 2 Swords Dances and still has a Lucario. And he'll switch it in totally healthy. If we paralyze, then he's got a paralyzed Lucario. Might break through the paralysis. Neutral damage, Bullet Punch. Unfortunate. Oh, this Lucario. That might be the end of us. Typhlosion at this point is our only hope. Losing a decent chunk of damage just due to those pointed stones digging in. He has to go for Bullet Punch here, because I should probably outspeed him because I've got the Choice Band, or Choice Scarf rather. And it looks like he's not going for Bullet Punch, so we're going to take him out with a Flamethrower. Got lucky on that one. Now, the problem is that we are locked into Flamethrower, so if we wanted to use some other move, we gotta bring something else out. It's going to be Greninja. Greninja's going to resist that Flamethrower, no problem. I don't want to throw away Crawdaunt, but we're going to have to. It sucks, but we have to. Because he's got Scald, which we should be able to resist, but whether we survive 2 of them is a totally different story. But everything that he's really got, except for maybe Grass Knot, we should be alright on. But yeah, no, we're not gonna survive that. So now we just have to go to Aqua Jet. He's gonna resist it, but we're gonna do twice as much damage as a normal Aqua Jet might, just because of our adaptability. He's gonna lose a little bit of HP due to Life Orb damage. And now we have to think about everything that's out. Nidoking we can't switch in yet. Cannot switch in Nidoking. It sucks losing that much health on Typhlosion, but you'll notice that Typhlosion has an odd number of health. So the reason that you want to go with like an odd number on health is because if T-Tar is going to come in, disappointing. T-Tar in here, Flamethrower is going to do nothing. I wanted to go for Focus Blast, but the reason I didn't go for Focus Blast is because of Gliscor. Gliscor is down a little bit on health, so maybe that was a better option, but unfortunately that wasn't the decision that I made. So now we have to sacrifice Nidoking to keep Typhlosion alive. Typhlosion can take out 2 out of 3 Pokemon. Oh, and we're going to get Pursuited. Oh no, that sucks. We're dead. Pursuit hurts. 100% dead. GG. Because there's nothing I can do to T-Tar here. Gliscor is going to come in. Yeah, we're not going to be able to take out Gliscor, even with Sludge Bomb. If we'd gone for an Ice Beam, Gliscor would be out of here. But Gliscor is going to have EQ. Man, I don't know. With leftovers on that T-Tar. Yeah, he's going to try and regenerate as much HP as possible. Without the Life Orb, we're just not going to be able to take out that T-Tar with Nidoking. And it doesn't matter what happens. Because of Pursuit, Typhlosion is dead on the Switch. So that's GG. Not bad. I got outplayed. GG.